All right, everybody, welcome to our Wednesday night team call. Usually it is Thursdays, but we are so excited to have our guest speaker on tonight. So I'm so grateful that she was able to do a Wednesday team call for us. This is exciting. I am going to screen share. We're going to do quick recognition, a few announcements, and then we are going to let her take it away. Our July leaderboard, you guys, I am so excited. It's been so much fun the past 24 hours to do this leaderboard because it's changing so dang quickly. And this was from this morning. So I know like these numbers are already changing. If you are a brand new coach on the call, if you see a 2 next to somebody's name, that means that they helped one person get started with a challenge pack and helping them change their life. So congratulations to Sarah, Christina, Kristen, Cassandra, Stephanie, all helped one person already. Please mute your lines, guys. Let me mute you guys. Okay. Alex on the board with 4, myself 6, Cassandra Murphy 6, Ashley Albeck 6, Kaylee 8, and Amanda Steele 12. What? You are awesome, girl. You are on fire. Amanda just went live in our Destiny United page, so make sure you go listen to her. So far, we changed 4 lives in July. And for our recruits, you guys are rocking it, getting everybody started. As a coach, we have Stephanie with 1, Sarah 1, Cassandra 1, Alex 1, Ashley 2, myself 3, Cassandra 3, Amanda Steele 5, and Kaylee 5. You guys are amazing. And Cassandra is the top coach for this week. Cassie girl, we see you. We see your posts, we see your stories, we see you shining on the leaderboard. You have just grown so much over the past few months and you're rocking your business. You're so close to diamond and we cannot wait to celebrate you, girlfriend. So freaking excited. All right. If you guys didn't see the announcement post in our group, I have this pinned to the top as an announcement. There's so much going on in July, you guys. So make sure you print this out, put it next to your computer, make sure you know what's going on. Next week is a super busy week. So take a look at it. We have the new launch of the, is it Bevy or BV? How do they say it? Bevy, like a beverage, right? Bevy, right? Okay. That is coming out on Monday the 13th. We have Team Cup signups on the 13th for August. We're signing up in July for August. We have our summit at the end. And we also have our, well, I'm going to go on to that later, but just be aware of this. I am going to be doing a new Coach Basics on the 27th, Monday the 27th. I'll be doing that, so make sure you're inviting to that. All right, announcements. Our Monday night guided business hours and mentorships always going on. Hop on to those. Like I said, the new drinks are coming on the 13th and the Team Cup, you can sign up for that and win. Look at those prizes, yo. I don't know if prizes get you pumped and you like competition, but I want the swag. Should I blow that up for us? I want the swag, I want the chair, and I want the little ear pods. Are you kidding me? I don't think it's just the case either. I think it's actually the pods that go in your ears. All right, and virtual summit, you guys, so much going on. I am going to make this picture an announcement too in the group. It has every workout that you can do for every single day and then everything else that is going on. I just want you guys to know that the team workout is going to be Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Wear your tank tops because at 9 a.m. sharp, we are taking a picture and you do not want to miss that picture. So make sure you hop on 5-10 minutes early and make sure that you get on that picture. All right, our guest speaker. I am so excited to have you on, Cassie. She went live in our group. How long ago was that? I don't even know. It feels like forever ago. And you just blew it up and I have been watching you ever since and you just don't stop. Like she does not take her foot off the gas. Like, she is going full force and growing this business. She's been coaching for 3 years. You are a Success Club 10 All-Star legend. You are hitting Success Club every dang month. You are a 1-star diamond and a team leader. So I am so excited to see you. And like I said before, you look freaking incredible, girlfriend. So please, I'm passing the baton to you. Share your story, because a lot has changed over the past year.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll talk about my story real quick, and then I'll get into what I was going to talk about. So, hello, I am Cassie. I have been coaching for, God, I don't know, I think 3 years. All my years meshed together. I could remember last week when that happened, and someone would be like, that was 7 years ago, dumbass. Like, I have no perception of time. Like, who knows? So I think 3 years I've been coaching. I was a pharmacy technician, and I just, well, way before that, I was in a very mentally abusive relationship. And when my daughter was born, I took one look at her and I was like, I do not want her to grow up in a household where, she sees the way her dad treats me and thinks that, it's normal for men to treat her that way. So I moved out with not a penny to my name. I moved into my parents' house. And right then and there, I started, my emotions. I was just eating any emotion. I was just covering it with food. If I was excited, sad, happy, it didn't matter. I was stuffing my face with those emotions. And I was also blowing my money on, this is why I have so many tattoos. Like now, like I don't have any money because I live in my own house. But when I was with my parents, I was just blowing all my money, and, I was just dating all of these guys, and I felt really empty inside. And then I met my now husband. I moved in with him, but I still had that really empty feeling. And it got to the point where I was thinking about suicide a lot. And, I just felt like a damn robot, like all day, every day. And the only reason that I did not go through with ending my life was because I didn't want my daughter growing up thinking that, she was not good enough, things like that. So I just stayed with these empty thoughts. And all within like an entire year of having these thoughts and, feeling super empty inside, this girl kept sending me messages to her boot camp. And I would either ignore her. I would tell her I'm doing, like, literally I told her I had a routine when I was like shoving mozzarella sticks in my mouth. I just wanted her to leave me alone. I'm like, no, I'm not joining your damn boot camp. Leave me the fuck alone. So I just kept, ignoring her or giving her excuses. The one time I told her I didn't want to lose any of my boobs. Like, that's why I couldn't work out, because I didn't want to lose my titties. And so anyways, I kind of broke down one day. I came home from work. I was living paycheck to paycheck. And I had just got paid that day. And I went into my bed and I was just scrolling social media. I was scrolling on Facebook, and I literally said to myself, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, this cannot be the way that I feel for the rest of my life. And as soon as I said that to myself, guess what happened? I got a follow-up from Ashley, my coach, and she was like, hey, just checking in. And I'm like, oh my God, like, fine, like, let's do this. My thought process was, I might not be able to, change how I feel, but at least I won't look like a busted can of biscuits. That was my mindset, right? So I got in, literally that left me with $13 in my bank account for the next 2 weeks. I had no money, but at that moment I needed something to change. Money comes back around. And, looking back, I was spending so much money on other shit. I was getting my hair done. I was blowing my money on clothes. I was doing all these things, but I never had money for a challenge pack. So anyways, that left me with $13. I struggled the entire 2 weeks, but my package came in and I got started. And within the first week, it felt like just the numbness was like seeping out of me. Like I could start feeling things again. I could start feeling things again. And, I was actually smiling. It wasn't a fake smile. And I was starting to be nicer to the people around me. And within that first week, I was like, holy shit, I don't even care. Like, I didn't even have any physical results. Or I didn't even have any physical results yet. All I knew was that other people could definitely use this just because of how much my mindset was shifting within just the first week of sweating it out and fueling my body properly. Like I said, like all of my emotions, like I could feel real emotions. It wasn't just numbness, and I didn't feel like a robot. And even like sex felt good for the first time in forever. Like I was just doing it to do it because, you know, he's my boyfriend and like I got to please him, but I wasn't really like into it. But like, you know, once I started being really happy, I was like, hell yeah, like sex is fun. Like, let's do this shit, you know? But yeah, so then I just started, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I feel like now we tend, us as leaders and people bringing in new coaches, we tend to overcomplicate things for them, just because like we know what works now, right? Like, okay, this is everything you should do. But I think we have to remember that when like I have to take a step back and be like, all right, do not overwhelm them, because when I first started, I knew nothing of the compensation plan. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I just started sharing. And sometimes, like, you know, like your time hop comes on, you can see like your old posts. My posts from 3 years ago, they were so freaking cringy. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I ever posted that. But I was still successful back then. I have never missed a month of Success Club since I said yes to coaching. And that's because I'm literally just so excited still to this day, so excited about what this program offers us, all of the things. And I just continue to share that. So anyways, I'm wrapping up my story here. But okay, so I was coaching for, I think about like 4 or 5 months. I was already matching my income consistently with my pharmacy technician paychecks, but I was too scared. I was like, this is too good to be true. This is too good to be true. So the next, I think, the next 4 months, even though I was matching and surpassing my paychecks with my 9 to 5, I still stayed there just because I was scared that it was going to stop. And I co-parent. So one year he gets her for a holiday, and the next year I get her for a holiday. So like if he had her last year for Thanksgiving, I get her next year. And I was at my job for 2 years. That was my 2-year mark when I started coaching. And the year before that, I worked Thanksgiving because he had her. I was like, yeah, like I'll take it. It's okay. I'll miss the time with family. I'll get time and a half. Like I'll work Thanksgiving. And he knew, my boss knew that the next year, and I told him 1,000 times, I'm not working on Thanksgiving. I have my daughter this year. I have my daughter this year. Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, well, other people who feel more entitled, even though we do the same job descriptions, had a big hissy fit about me having off because she had to have off. And, you know, he turned to me and he said, sorry, like you have to work Thanksgiving. And in that moment, the light bulb clicked. I was like, no, I fucking do not. This is my 2-week notice. Like, I do not need this shit. And ever since then, I have been able to spend every holiday with my family, and it is the most freeing feeling. Not having to ask to request off of work, not having to fight with other coworkers about who should get off and whatnot. I don't have to deal with any of that fucking shit. I was like, oh my God, like I am not stuck. I am not stuck, and I do not have to put up with that. So ever since then, I've just been running with this business. So anyways, let me get into what, I'm not going to share my screen because literally they're just bullet points for me. I am not like a good like graphic designer person. There's so many coaches who like were former teachers or are already still teachers, and like they make the best graphics. I'm like, Ashley, like how dare you? Why do you have to, why does her graphics have to look so cute? I don't understand it. But anyways, so I'm going to be talking kind of about like consistency, hitting Success Club, getting working coaches, and I'm going to touch a little bit on inviting. So I have a little bit of a squirrel brain, so I might go from like one thing to another, but just bear with me here. So I'm going to just talk about important things I think help my business and hopefully will help you too. But first, I'm going to talk about posting. So one of my biggest pet peeves is when one of my coaches says, I have no idea what to post. And then they don't post, and then they don't post, and then they don't post. And I'm like, what do you mean you have nothing to post? So I make them brain dump all of their struggles, even if it has nothing to do with health and fitness. Take 15, 20 minutes. This is your business. Take 15 or 20 minutes to just sit down and just start thinking about everything. Start getting those wheels turning. Sorry. Because there's so much to talk about at any given time. And even if it's not something I get inspiration for posts from everywhere online when people are complaining about how friggin' fat they are and they can't put down the hose, or TV shows. When I hear something that's like troubling when it comes to health and fitness, I was like, ooh, that's something I can make a post about. Or in real life, when I'm just listening, I'm opening my ears and I'm listening to the people around me talk. And, let's take this for example. Every time I go to a family party, people cannot resist talking about all the bullshit they're doing while they know that I'm a health and fitness coach and can help them. But yet they're like, yeah, like sometimes like if I eat too much the day before, I just won't eat the next day. And then someone else of my family will chime in and be like, yeah, like I just like cut out all the carbs, but then I wanted carbs. So like I gained all the weight back and blah, blah, blah. Like there's so much going on around you that you can take little snippets of and turn them into posts and turn them into, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not sure. Turn them into posts. But yes, brain dump all of your struggles. Anything is valuable to your tribe. Sometimes I post things that like I feel like no one's going to relate to, or I might be like one of the only people who like feel the way about a certain subject or have struggled with this particular thing. And then like me thinking that it's not really going to do much to my social media, I throw it up. And it's like one of my most popular posts, like, oh my God, I had no idea. Like, I feel the exact same way, or I struggle with that too. I'm so glad to know that you struggle doing the same. And I'm like, damn, like, what if I never put that up because I thought no one would care or no one would relate to me? So I have a brain dump for posting with, when I want to attract clients and then when I want to attract coaches. So a lot of my brain dumps when it comes to making posts that are geared towards bringing in my tribe for my boot camp, I talk about my yo-yo dieting. I talk about how I went into debt with 2 separate gym memberships, one that was just a regular gym membership and one that was a gym membership with a personal trainer attached that also didn't work out. I talk about those and why they didn't work out and what happened. I talk about how I used to wrap my body with friggin' it works shit, or take a bunch of, does anyone remember those Gambonia pills things? Yeah, that. Or I talk about how I used to be exhausted all the time as a new mother. I did this journey so exhausted from doing absolutely nothing. Now I know it was because I ate like shit and I was not treating my body right. But back then, I was just so exhausted. I would literally, this was right before like my daughter could like walk, where she could like crawl around. But I would put her in the middle of the living room floor, put toys all around her, and I would go sit on the couch and nod off like I was on drugs or something because I was that exhausted, downing coffee after coffee after coffee, and I still could not keep up and I still could not keep my eyes open. I talk about that. I talk about those things. And then when I'm talking about, when I'm making posts for clients or for coaches, I talk about how I live paycheck to paycheck. I talk about how I was able to, bring myself home and I get to spend every holiday with my family. I talk about how I was not popular in high school. I had about 2 friends and they weren't very good students. So they were always skipping school without me, bitches. They were always skipping school. So whenever they both were in school, I literally would skip lunch because I did not want to be that loser sitting at a table by themselves while literally all of my peers are all around me laughing, having fun with all their friends. And, I would literally skip going to lunch and I wouldn't eat that day. And now, like, if I had a wedding right now, I'd have 27 bridesmaids, like, what's that movie called? I think it's called 27 Bridesmaids. But I literally have so many friends now, and so many friends I value with my entire life, and they are forever friends from this coaching opportunity. I talk about that. There's so many different things to talk about. You are not a boring person. And if you are a boring person, use it to your advantage. There's other boring people out there. Meet your boring tribe. There's so much to talk about. Another thing that I do is, I'm not sure how you guys like prepare for your posts, but I always write all of my posts in my phone notepad so that I have them. Like, I have years worth of posts in my phone and my notepad. And when I really don't know what to post, I'll just scroll back in my notepad like 6, 7, 8 months ago. I'll find posts that I did and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna redo the wording of that and re-slap it up. Someone from they're not gonna remember that I posted that 8 months ago. Obviously, I switch up the wording, but if you're really having trouble that day, that's why it's so good to save your posts. And also, be here a year from now and another year and another year, because just like I talked about with Time Hop, your old posts come up, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to post about. And then it'll be like, oh, see your memories from 2 years ago today. And I'll be like, oh, that's a good post. Like, I'm going to repost that. And things like that. And then also what I do is, you want to just make sure that your feed is kind of coherent and it makes sense. So if you go to your Instagram right now, and the first thing people see are your first 9 little squares on your Instagram. So whenever I am getting ready to post something, or I know that I need to make a post, I go and I look at the type of pictures that I've posted. Like, okay, what different types do I need to go outside? Do I need a picture of my food? Have I not posted a picture of my plate of food in a while? Do I need a transformation picture? There should be a transformation picture in every 9 squares of your Instagram, because new people are constantly coming on your page. And really, like, when I go to someone's page, I look at the first 6 to 9 little squares of their pictures. And if none of it interests me or catches my eye, I swipe back and I move on with my life. So look at what you need. Look at what your feed needs. So first, look at the pictures. Say, okay, like, what kind of picture do I need? Do I need to go outside? Do I need a different pose? And then also look at the content in those posts. Like, what have you been talking about the past 9 posts that you've made? What do you need? What does your audience need? What does your tribe need to hear right now? And then also, when you are making posts, so not everything has to be Beachbody or coaching or boot camp related. Obviously, you are a real person before you started coaching, so make sure that you are sprinkling in things about you and other things that you love that are outside of this business. Because if every single post is about coaching, if every single post is about boot camps, and that's it, you are going to become white noise. You want to know something that I do? Sometimes I'll get like 30 likes on a post about coaching or a post about my boot camp, but then I'll post a picture of like my dog and my kid together and it'll get 300 likes. I don't go and invite people who liked my boot camp post with 30 likes. No, I go to the people who obviously saw that boot camp post but ignored it, and instead the next day liked my kid and my dog, and I invite from that, because I know that they saw that if they're seeing that picture that they are liking. But so when you're making posts about, your boot camps or about coaching, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the felt, found, feel, or maybe I'm switching up the wording, but take them through a story. You know, have you ever like listened to a podcast or listen to a really good song, and you know you're hearing the words, but in your head you're painting like your own scenario with like yourself, um or you know you're listening to a podcast and you're so invested and all you can think about is, wow, this like this sounds like my life, and then you end up like missing your exit because you are so drawn into that podcast and everything that is saying. That is the same exact thing for story posts. When people, when you take people through a story, and I do a story like once a week, and that's pretty much it. But when you take people through a real story, what they tend to do, if it relates to them, while they're reading your post, they will start thinking about their own life and they will start like painting a picture of like them, and all of a sudden like they are right intertwined with your story, but it is yours, and they get to the end and they're like, fuck, like I think I need this, I think I need to stop ignoring her, I need to get my shit together, like it is time to fill out that boot camp application, like I need this. So you know, feel, felt, found. So you know, this is how, you know, the girl on the left, blah 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 blah, she was sad, she was exhausted, she was snapping at everyone in her household, and you know, now the girl on the right, she's this, that, and the third. You know, I feel so amazing now that I started putting myself first, blah blah blah. But really I'm saying blah 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 because like nothing's popping into my head right this second, but you guys understand what I'm saying. So that's a little bit on, hello, sorry. Did you mean that? No? Okay. Okay, so let's get into consistency really quick. Okay, so let's take you guys through a scenario really quick. Let me get a drink of water. Okay, so let's say every morning on your way to work, you have a favorite coffee shop. You go there every single day. They know your order. You're like, hell yeah, I barely have to order. They see you pulling up in the driveway and they're like, get her order ready. Like that's how much of a favorite coffee shop it is. But you go there one day and it's closed. So you're like, oh, okay, like that sucks. But you find another coffee shop on the way to work. You come back the next day and it's also closed. And you're like, what the hell? So you go back to that other coffee shop that you went to before. So you come back the next day and it's closed again, and you're like this is ridiculous, like what is going on here? So you go to that coffee shop and maybe you go back the next day and they're still closed. Guess what? You're probably going to lose trust with that coffee shop. You're gonna be like, you know what, I'm not even freaking bothering anymore. You know, that's how you lose trust. So are you making posts multiple times a week? At least 4 times a week. And I say that is the bare minimum. We've come a long way from having to post on Facebook 3 times a day. That's when I started. So you know what? I don't not want to hear you complain that you have to post 4 times a week on your feed, because we used to have to do it 3 times a friggin' day. It was exhausting trying to come up with that much content, but I did it. So do not complain or say like, oh, like, I don't know if I can find things to post. Just do it. Take your brain, tell it to shut the fuck up and just start creating content. When you overthink things, you tend to overlook things, and you tend to, when you also overthink things, you get overwhelmed and then you end up not doing it at all, and then you feel like an asshole. So stop overthinking it. But let's go to shit, what was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. So yes, post at least 4 times a day, or 4 times a week. I post at least between 4 to 6 times a week. I used to post every day up until, I'm gonna say, like 2 months ago, and now I've kind of started being like more lenient. I used to post literally 7 days a week. I would not miss a day without posting something. And now I post like 4 or 5 times a week, and I let some days I try not to go 2 days in a row. So if I post something on Monday and Tuesday, maybe I'll just let Wednesday, slide by. But if just because I'm not posting on my feed does not mean I'm not in my Insta stories. I live in my Insta stories. There are so many people that watch me every day and that relate to me on so many different levels, but they do not want to do health and fitness with me at the moment. But they always get hooked and they always end up trying it with me because I keep them coming back from the other stuff that I post or that I talk about in my stories. I really let my personality show, and my dark humor, my dirty humor, that like I'm not a perfect mom, and that kind of like I have an attitude. Like I'm not just like happy-go-lucky all the damn time on my Insta stories. People see the real me. I do not sugarcoat anything. I speak what's on my mind. If you don't like it, I'm not going to argue with you. You can either move along or I'm going to block your ass. Like I do not give a shit what you think of me attitude. And because of that, I have so many people who come back every single day and watch all of my stories, and eventually they start voting on my polls, or they start getting more interested in the fitness realm of it, because it is mostly me on my Insta stories. It's me and my life, and then I sprinkle in a workout clip. I sprinkle in my Shakeology. I sprinkle in my pre-workout. I sprinkle in my team time and all those little fitness sprinkles, and then my life around that being the big cake. That is why people keep coming back. And that is why I am so consistent with that. That is why that I do not, the bare minimum that I hit for Success Club every single month is Success Club 20. I think 1 month in my entire 3 years, I hit like Success Club 16, but that was it. And it's because I am so consistent with my story. I have not been the most perfect. I have not been the most perfect in my workouts. There have been a lot of ups and downs in my fitness journey, and like gaining some weight back and losing some weight. But now I'm in this place where like I'm consistently like taking myself and my job seriously. I was taking it seriously too, but like, depression, anxiety, sometimes those bitches come back. But let's talk about your consistency. Are you continuously starting and stopping a program? So are you saying like, oh my gosh, like I swear to God, no one on this call, if you are talking about MBF and you're like, I'm so excited to start this, and you bought early access and you have a date that you're starting, if you get 2 weeks into it and you're like, yeah, so I didn't like it as much as I thought I was. No, stop. Like so many times, like I see this all the time, even with my clients, but working out isn't supposed to be super fun all the damn time. But you can talk about how like, maybe it's not your cup of tea. And I'm not saying pretend that you don't like it, but show your people regardless that you are going to finish strong, because you are stronger than your feelings. You are stronger than your excuses. You're going to end MBF strong. And then if you do not like it, you never have to do it again in your life. It is a 3-week program. Do not get a week and a half in and say, oh, you know what? It's not for me. I'm going to start 80-day obsession. And I'm not trying to be a hypocrite here, but learn from my mistakes, because I have done that. I did that with 80-day obsession when it first came out, however many years ago. Obviously, I'm on my fourth time of doing 80-day obsession, so my views have changed on it. But when it first came out, I got my clients hyped up. I got my new clients hyped up. And then I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this. So I stopped, I quit. And you want to know what happened? Some people lost their trust in me. My clients didn't go all in on 80-day obsession because I wasn't going all in on 80-day obsession. And I just kind of left them high and dry in the wind. So You're going to keep losing trust if you do not start and complete a program. Start and complete a program. It is your job. Are you constantly going back and forth on results because of nutrition? Now, like I just said, I have had my ups and downs, but there has to be a time where you put the line in the sand, which I did, which is why my body is changing, so much, because I just stopped letting my excuses win. And I wanted more for myself. And you want to know what happened when I really started taking myself seriously and I really stuck to the nutrition and I showed up with intention in my workouts. More of my clients actually started showing up in the group. They started completing programs themselves. They started making it a priority where a workout was not like an option. It was a priority to them because I really started showing up with intention myself, and they were seeing that and they were craving that. What about this? Do you, be honest, do you hide food that you're eating on your Insta story? So what I mean is, are you showing your meals throughout the day, but then eating a half gallon of ice cream and not telling your Insta stories about it, or not telling your followers about it? Are you eating dinner, but then, or are you just not posting your dinner from that day because you ended up having pizza and you don't want people to know that you're having pizza? Use your Insta stories as accountability. If you're going to eat it, then you better show it. Stop hiding things from your Insta story. Stop hiding the foods that you are eating from your Insta story, because you are just cheating yourself out. The more accountable you get with actually showing the shit that you're eating and the shit that you're not supposed to be eating, or you probably should not be eating, especially since we have to be proof of the products in order for our businesses to work, the more you get used to actually showing everyone all of it, like, you know what, yeah, fuck it, we're eating pizza. Like, that happened to me like maybe a month ago. I completely burned our dinner and I was so excited for it, and I burned it and I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, I went on my Insta stories and I'm like, I just ordered a large pizza. We're having pizza for dinner. I am over this day. I do not care. I'm going to enjoy my pizza and I'm going to move on the next day. And, a lot of my followers were like, girl, I would have done the exact same thing. Like, you eat that pizza, have fun, enjoy it. And those are people who weren't even clients in my boot camp. But what do you want with this business? What are you doing? Are you doing the fluff of this business? Are you consistent with the fluff, or are you consistent with the work? So what I mean is the fluff, making pretty graphics, scrolling your Instagram or scrolling Facebook. There's way more things, but they're not in my head anymore. But are you doing the actual work? Are you sending out invites to people? Are you growing your network? Are you adding people? Or like following them? I don't really add people on Facebook anymore. Fun fact, I grew my entire business off of Facebook, and then I started using Instagram. But, are you following people? Are you engaging in, don't just scroll your Instagram, engage in the pictures, double tap, like heart picture. She has cute rings on, tell her. These are things that people remember. Start building connections and, give a few compliments out on your page. These are all income producing activities. All the fluff, all the shiny shit, that does not matter unless you are actually doing the things that are going to drive your business forward. Yeah. Matt, they can hear you. Okay. So let's move on to working coaches. Now this kind of goes back to like posting, posting for your target audience. And another great way to get a great working coach is to have a bomb-ass challenge group. Your job does not end when someone buys a challenge pack. Your job starts. That is when your job starts. And I'm sure like every coach on this call is like, yeah, duh. Like, I don't just leave people in the wind. But sometimes in my earlier years when, you know, a lot of people would sign up at once, I'm ashamed to say that sometimes people would slip through the cracks. They would buy their challenge pack and they would just slip through the cracks because I was so busy trying to get more people into my boot camps that I was forgetting about the people that were already there. And I just want to remind everyone on this call that these are people we are dealing with, not paychecks. These are people, not paychecks. They have a heartbeat. They signed up with you for a reason. They want your help. So you better give them that help and you better give them a great experience. Now, with that said, you can only lead a horse to water. You cannot make them drink it. I'm going to be honest and say right now, no matter what I do, if 20 people sign up with me this month, I will probably have a good 8 of them who just disappear. It's not from my lack of communication. I send emails, I send check-ins, I send text messages, I send, you know, if they ignore it all, fuck it. I'm moving on to people who actually want my help. And, you know, those people will come back around, but do not exasperate all of your energy on someone who really doesn't want your help. It's okay. It's not your fault. You're a great coach. But, you know, some people, they buy their packages and then you never freaking hear from them again. And that's okay. That is not your fault. As long, you know, if you can honestly say, like, you know, I tried my best. I have reached out with messages. She's not answering me. She's ignoring me. You can go to sleep that night, you know, head on your pillow and be happy. Be happy that you tried. You cannot force anyone to do this. Shit, I went off on a tangent. I totally forgot what I was saying. Hold on one sec.
Working coaches.
Yes. Okay. So, yes, that's what I was saying. Okay, so the best working coaches come out of your challenge groups. Guys, get people banging results. Focus on the people who are in your groups. Show them love. Celebrate them. And, you know, if they're doing really amazing and they're getting results and they're showing up, start talking to them about coaching. Matt, can you not do all that right now, please? A lot of I'm trying to talk. Yes, if they're doing super, super amazing, you know, talk to them about coaching. But also, if they're falling off and they're like, oh, like I restarted for like the 5th time this week. Girl, you need coaching. It's so easy to break promises to yourself, but as a coach, it is literally your job to get results. You are going to have so many eyes on you, and that gives you the extra accountability you need to stick to your shit because now everyone knows that you're doing it. It is so easy to break promises to ourselves, but when you post about it and you say it out loud and you're doing the damn thing, it's so much harder to break those promises to other people, even if they are strangers. So that is mostly how I get my working coaches in my challenge groups, you know, guiding them through. If they're doing amazing, I bring up coaching. If they're doing horrible, I bring up coaching, just in a different way. And then, you know, the way I post about coaching and, you know, all those little brain dumps, and that little struggle web. I also call it a struggle web, brain dump, same thing. You know, I reach into my struggle web and I grab something that I know is going to speak to that Cassie who is struggling, who is living paycheck to paycheck, who is severely unrecognized at her job, who does everything for everyone else at her job, yet no one cares unless she does something wrong. Then all of a sudden, then she gets talked to. But no one recognizes her either any other way. You know, things like that. So that is how I bring in my working coaches. And also, when you do get a working coach, before you get a working coach, and don't spend too much time on this if you do not have any working coach. Guys, it took me a year. It took me a year into this business to find my first working coach. Okay, so you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Doesn't matter if you're a year in, doesn't matter if you're 3 years in. You want to know a fun fact? I am a 1-star diamond coach. That is as far as I've gotten with rank. And my personally sponsored coach, Kate, she is about to be a 3-star qualifying coach. So here I am, a 1-star diamond, and my personally sponsored coaches are already doing more than me in the rank advancement. And you know what? That's okay. That is okay. I will have my time when I have it, and I'm going to celebrate her, as should you. When you see your teammates rank advancing before you, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you and your business. You're not doing anything wrong. You just need to keep going. But anyways, don't work on this a lot if you don't have any working coaches yet, but get a team page going. Get some sort of training that you're going to want to plug them into, even if it's just like a little baby video. Guys, it does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. Anyone who joins your team, they're joining for you. So anything that you provide them, they are going to love and they're going to appreciate. So get some sort of training in line so that when you do get your first working coach, you're not like, fuck, shit, what do I do? Like, I don't have a team page. I don't have any trainings. Like, what do I do? You are going to be prepared because you are prepping for your future team. You are speaking that shit into the universe. So start getting your team page together. Start getting some training so that when you do get working coaches, you'll already have something in place for them. And also when you do get that first working coach, or maybe you have like 3 working coaches, 4 working coaches, and maybe they aren't like too good of being like, they're like borderline discount, borderline active coaches. We all have them. Sometimes they work the business and then sometimes they like disappear. I have those too. But it does not matter. If there's 3 people on your team page right now, treat those 3 people as if they are 100 people in your team page, as if they are 1,000, as if they are 1,500. Show up with intent in your team pages. Show up with hustle. Show up with grit. Show up and be that coach that you want your other coaches to be. And eventually you will start gaining momentum with those working coaches, and you will find those coaches that, you really want on your team. And you're like, holy shit, I swear to God, after I got my first working coach, it was kind of like up and down. And then all of a sudden, like 8 months later, I look back and I'm like, holy shit, I have so many personally sponsored coaches. Like, where did all these people come from? I swear to God, it comes out of nowhere when you're not trying so desperately to do it. And you, instead of being desperate to get working coaches, and instead of being desperate of rank advancing, be desperate to show up as the coach that you want on your team. And just keep going and keep shit simple. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about real quick, because I'm finishing this up, I just want to talk about invites, because Amy did message me today, and she sent me like a little screenshot of all the things that you guys struggle with, and the most popular was invites. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm just going to help you get your head out of your ass really, really quick. So first and foremost, don't laugh at me. Why are you scared to invite? Is it because you're scared there's going to be a mean person on the other side of the message? Are you scared that they're going to think you're dumb? Are you scared that they aren't going to answer at all? What is it? But let me get this out of the way and say, there are always going to be assholes on the internet. You're going to get shitty messages. There, I said it. You are going to get someone who's having a really bad day or had a previous horrible experience with multi-level marketing, and they're going to take it out on you for just being nice enough to reach out and, give them or, present them with this opportunity. There's always going to be assholes. But after every single asshole that there is, there are other people out there who need you, who need this opportunity, who need to hear your story, who need that invite in their inbox. If Ashley would have given up 2 to 3 months or even 6 months in, she messaged me every single month for a fucking year. If she would have given up, I don't know where I don't even know if I would physically be here. If it wasn't for that girl consistently, no matter what I was saying to her, she sent me another follow-up. She sent me another invite. And it's because of that's exactly what I do. I do not stop inviting anyone unless they tell me to fuck off or they block me. And you know what? Sometimes when they tell me to fuck off, I don't block them either. I'm just like, oh, okay, like, have a nice day. And you know, I've had 3 people who have told me off, who have said horrible, nasty shit to me in my inbox when I sent them a follow-up, come back to me months later and be like, hey, I'm sorry for what I said, but like, I need help. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's okay. I'm here for you. You know, people, they come around, and if they don't come around, fuck them. You don't want them in your boot camps. You don't want their negative ass, bogus ass energy in your life. Bless and release. But I do want to give you this kind of like a analogy, I guess I would say. So let's say you're scrolling on Facebook, and maybe someone you went to high school with, or someone who you used to be coworkers with, just like an old friend or something. Can you please stop for a minute? I'm almost done. Thank you. They make a post and they say something along the lines of, party at my house this weekend, pool party, bring your beer. Literally anyone is invited. Just show up. You're invited. You're welcome. You would read that and you'd be like, yeah, but they don't mean me. Like, if I just randomly showed up at their house this weekend, they'd probably be like, what the fuck is she doing here? Like, I didn't mean I wanted her to come, you know? So you keep scrolling, but maybe later that day or the next day, you get an invite. You get a message from her saying, hey girl, I don't know if you saw my post about the pool party I'm having, but I would really love it if you joined us. You'd be like, oh shit, she did mean me, because she's personally inviting me now. That is the exact same way with invites. You can post your heart out. You can Insta story your heart out. But a lot of times people are too chicken shit to come forward. I have had so many people who have never liked a post of mine, have never commented on anything, but yet when I talk to them, they were like, oh my gosh, all of your posts, I love them. And they like reference something specific, and I know that they did not even like my post. So people are watching, they're listening, but they are too scared to reach out. You need to be the one who's just a little more brave than they are, and just stop being a little bitch and press send, and then move on with your life and move on to the next person. And the more you consistently do that, the more you're going to get over yourself, and it's not going to be this hard, dreadful thing that you have to do. And you want to know what? If it still is that hard, dreadful thing, if invites never get easier, that's fine. But you're not allowed to do any other things that you like to do for your business until you send out those invites. Eat the frog, do the thing you do not like first, and then reward yourself with all the things you do like doing in this business. And that is how you will succeed. Don't look at me like that. I know, I get a little fired up. But, okay. So that's pretty much all I got. My husband is like, you need to tone it down. You're fucking nuts.
Oh my God, I'm like smiling from ear to ear. My cheeks hurt. The team loves how like raw you are. And no, it's good. I love how you just bring your flavor, and it is what it is. You get what you see. There was a few questions, and you guys can post more in the chat, or unmute yourself. But Ashley wanted to know, when did Ashley introduce you to the coaching? Was it right away, or was it when you were in the challenge group and then she invited you?
Yeah, so she did not sign me up as a coach with my package or anything. which by the way, I sign pretty much 99% of my clients as a coach with their package. I get like 6 fast start bonuses a month because I just do that. It's just natural for me now to sign everyone as a coach unless they have a problem with it. Then I'm like, all right, cool. I'll switch your cart to a regular customer. But yeah, like the first like week and a half in, I just started telling her how much I loved that and how much I loved everything. And she was like, you should coach. And I'm like, I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't like, well, what's the compensation plan? I didn't even know we got paid. Okay. You want to hear a funny story? I did not know I got paid for this. Ashley was such a coach. She didn't tell me. I got a random ass check in the mail. And I'm like, we get paid for this? Like, that's so cool. I got like $167 check and I'm like, oh my God, you make money doing this. I had no idea. I was just helping people. And I'm like, yeah, buy this package. Like, that's what I got. It's going to be so fun. And then I ended up starting to get paid for it. And then I started paying attention to the compensation plan. But yeah, I had no idea that I got paid for doing this at all. I just started doing it.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Megan, I think it was you. You wanted to know, do you post every day? And you answered that. You said 4 to 5 times a week.
Yeah, 4 or 5 times a week. Sometimes I need my brain needs a break from like trying to think of a post and stuff. But mostly at least 5 times a week. Usually, I'm posting.
For inviting, do you use Ashley's notebook message method yet? How many do you invite a day? Is it from your stories, your posts?
Yeah, so literally, it depends on like what my mood is of the day, of what I want to do. But mostly my most like popular for myself is I do the ABC method. So, and I usually knock out 2 birds, 1 stone with it. So what I will do is I will, the ABC method is when you go to your followers, the people who are following you, you go to the search bar and you type in a random letter. And then I scroll all the way down, everyone who pops up with the letter B, I scroll all the way down to the bottom. I click the person who's at the bottom. I go to their message, and then I write down on my notebook. I do an I for invite, for a new invite, F for follow-up, and then C for coach. So what I'll do is I'll click on into their message. If I've ever messaged them before, that's a follow-up. I send a follow-up. And then before I leave their page, I also, if their followers are public, if they have a public, if I can click on them, I'll follow a few people off of who's following them before I leave their page. So I'm also growing my network in the matter of 3 minutes. I'm sending a message and following a few people off of their page before I move on to the next person. So like that's like regular invites, follow-ups, and then coach invites. And then I usually try to go until I get to the top. But sometimes like my A's, if I'm doing letter A, sometimes it takes like 5 days because everyone has an A in their name these days. But yeah, so I usually do the ABC method. And then like I said, I will see right then and there if I need to do a new invite, if I need to do a follow-up, or if I need to do a coaching invite, if they're like posting, fitness stuff. But yeah, that's mostly what I do. And then I really only, can you just sit down 1 sec? It's going to be 3 minutes. I'm going to kill him. But he's like child. But I love you. But yeah, I usually do that. And then really I only message people who like my post if it's a transformation post. Almost every other post is just like, normal. Plus I usually have a call to action. Like I have, I put like, I say like link to or application of my bootcamp is in my bio, or if I'm posting on Facebook, which I always post what I post on Instagram on my Facebook feed as well. I post my application in the comments. So I usually give people like a call to action, like if you want to get a hold of me, here's my bootcamp. So I usually have like around 7 to 15 people a month fill out my bootcamp application, although maybe like 3 of them actually go through with like their purchase. Yeah, I have a lot of people who leave me on red after they read the price, but they always come back. So yeah, I mostly do the ABC method with, I try to get through a letter a day in the alphabet. So every month my alphabet starts over. I do the A's, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, N, P. And, I just try to do that by the end of the month. And then usually I'm finding all the people I need to find.
And unfollowing all the people that you want to unfollow.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that method. That is freaking like genius, because you're expanding, you're inviting, you're like reaching out, connecting.
Yep. You're doing like all the things. You're knocking off half of your BAT just by doing it that way. I do not use an unfollow app just because a lot of third-party apps have been flagging Instagram accounts. When we were doing that, when it was popular to use what is it called, Cleaner or Captivate, things like that, Instagram started recognizing that we were using those apps and it was fucking up people's Instagrams. So what I do is I just kind of like, once in a while, I unfollow people like once a week. But what I do is I go to who I'm following, and I'll click on their profile, and I'll click on who they're following, and you're going to be one of the first people in that list if they're following you back. So if they're not following you back, I just unfollow them. I'm like, okay, goodbye. And I'll do that for like 20 minutes to a half hour, or if I'm taking a bath, or if I'm taking a shit. Those are when I'm doing those types of things, because that's not really going to build my business by unfollowing people, but I do it when I'm doing things that don't matter, when I'm like chilling.
What's your Instagram handle?
The Life of Cass. I'm currently private, but okay. I'll make sure, like, as long as you guys have a public page, I'll be able to see you and see that you're a coach. I had some problems with people who were being assholes on the internet. I got put into one of those anti-MLM videos. So I've been just like kind of like chilling with having a private account until everyone decides to get a life and they're not on unemployment anymore because of COVID and they go back to regular life. But yeah, it's really not a big deal. It's just people take things out of context all the time. It's not my problem, but I'm just cutting the cord by making my profile private for the moment, just because I don't want to deal with people. But yeah,
I love that. Okay,
so I'll just make sure I don't block you guys, because I'm just blocking everyone who requests to follow me that I don't know. I'm like, bye. So if I accidentally block you, I'm sorry, just let me know.
If you get any, like right now, it's
yeah,
us.
Okay.
All right, we are going to respect your time. Do you guys have any other questions? We'll get a quick pick. If you guys can like open up your videos if you're not naked, that'd be great. Awesome. Great. I love you guys. There y'all are. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. What a freaking call. It's exactly what I needed halfway through the year to like relight my mojo. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please thank Cassie.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for hopping on. Tag her in your Insta stories. And
thank you for making your business a priority and actually hopping on team calls, because I freaking hate when I have like a cool guest speaker and half of my coaches are missing. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, girl, don't trust me. I was doing all the messaging saying, come on, like, you got to show up for this girl. She's freaking fire. So, yeah. Thank you guys for showing up and making it a priority.
Show up to your team calls.
Love it. Thank you, girl. Bye, ladies.
All right, bye. Thank you.